Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here, and thank you all for at home for watching this informal roundtable. It's not a roundtable, but long table meeting with the town board, the town of Carmel. And we're down here on the floor. We're not on a dais, and the reason we're down here is because we want to be closer to the people. And we want to be at the public's level, and we did one of these 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't televised. So after that one that we did do, we talked about it and felt that, you know what, let's televise these. And I think it's a great idea to televise them, so really let the public.
I don't know if it's live right now, but it is being recorded. It could be live, I don't know.
Okay, all right, great, yes.
Him back there, and he
Is Dominic over there or the other kid? Young man, okay. So really the purpose of these is just for the town board to informally discuss town-related issues and matters involving the town of Carmel. The Hopepack Falls included, the two hamlets and the hamlet of Carmel. And we had some really good positive discussions last time we did this a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to continue to do this in the future. So, we may or may not have a formal agenda that we come out here with, or we might. There may be times that we do have a formal agenda that we're going to be discussing. But tonight seems like it might be just an open mic for the town board members to discuss various things and bring different items up that are related to the town. And one thing I want to bring up right now is I attended the ribbon cutting and formal grand opening of ARC Putnam, which is over on Juville Road. It's Putnam, what's it, the ARC, John? The acronym, ARC? Yeah.
I just know that they assist all
with special
citizens
needs.
with special needs.
Yeah, they assist residents of Putnam County with various special needs that they may have. And yeah, it's all age groups, right? It's young children, right up until.
From early intervention all the way through adulthood, they work with. Yeah, from.
Resource. It's a resource center.
It is. Yeah, they also they work hand in hand with one of the local preschools. They work hand in hand with Westchester's ARC. They do a lot for the special needs community in regards to assistance placement and making sure that all services that need to be provided are provided.
Yeah, they sure do, and they do a fantastic job providing that service. And they had the grand opening of the newest facilities that they have. You familiar with the two large buildings on Juville Road just before you get to Stoneley Avenue on the right-hand side?
Used to be
Dr. Garcia's office.
Yes.
The pediatrician,
Yeah,
Dr. Garcia.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So those buildings came out really, really nice. They did a fabulous job getting them ready. So I was there today on hand for the ribbon cutting. The county executive was there as well, and Putnam County legislators Albano, Amy Sage was there, and it was really a great event. There was probably 45 or 50 people that actually participated in the ribbon cutting. Most of the folks that were there were affiliated with Putnam ARC, but it was really nice, and a few of us spoke, and I found out today that Susan is retiring. Susan.
With the L.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Lamangelo, I think it is.
And
Susan.
Rand moved to Texas.
I heard that, yeah.
She moved to Texas. She's doing fabulous down there.
Yeah.
But Susan, it's going to be a loss.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, she's an amazing person, and she's contributed so much to the ARC of Putnam.
Yeah.
So we wish them well in the new facility and continued success, and I thank them for the services that they provide to the residents of Putnam County, and we really appreciate what they do.
Yeah.
So it was a great event. It was really nice. So, yes?
I have, just, I can update the board, unless you want to.
Nope, go ahead.
I just wanted to update the board. Susie and I met with the head of recreation, the head of the Parks Recs Committee, Dave Fafaro, and we should have the start of bidding process, getting the bids ready for the airport park. Obviously, it has to be vetted through the engineering department, vetted through the town board, but we're moving forward with that, and also we need to come forth to the board to solicit engineering work to be done on McDonough Park, because once the airport park is done as a open field lacrosse, soccer, even a little flag football, and what have you. the McDonough Park is designated to become a all softball, baseball park per the Parks and Rec master plan. So in the next week or two, or maybe 3 weeks, I don't want to rush people, it will be presented to the board. Susie or I will do it together. You know, the bid process will start for the airport park, and also McDonough Park to start doing the finishing, I should say, not doing, finishing the engineering plans, because Insight has worked on those parks, on McDonough Park, but now it just has to be refined. And the airport park, I don't want to call it shovel-ready, but all the permits are in place, you know, that they've worked on, so we could put it out to bid and then eventually start the project. But the McDonough Park still needs to go through some DEC, DEP approval process. So we're going to start, you know, trying to do stuff in parallel, so the board should be, you know, somewhat ready or anticipating, you know, bids for the airport and, you know, finishing the engineering work, and go from there on McDonough Park.
So the airport park is much further along in the process?
The way the previous or the current or the previous Parks and Rec Committee, working with Jeff Catamo of Insight Engineering, and it was already paid for, you know, many moons ago, yes, Jeff has, of Insight, has all the permits, and it's far enough along that we can put out the bids and go from there. The county still needs to do a little work, as it was presented, you know, on the side swale, but the town, you know, can start staging what needs to get done. Doesn't mean that we're going to, you know, again, shovel ready doesn't mean we're going to start digging next month, but, you know, we can keep the process going, and, you know, the big process is a big thing. So just to update the board on that, you know, and putting together the bid on how to do it and stuff like that. And actually, Dave is perfect timing for the planning.
It's going to be a perfect asset, a great asset for the community.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Dave.
John was
We-
just explaining that
we just-
we all met.
Discuss airport park, McDonough Park.
But
People that are
your
watching,
haircut- your
we're
haircut
talking
looks
to Dave
nice.
Fafaro.
Oh, yeah.
For the people that don't see Dave, we're talking to Dave Fafaro, who just walked in on our
Yeah,
rec committee.
It's
really-
televised. I don't think it's live, but it is being recorded and televised.
Yeah.
You look handsome.
So this project has
Very exciting.
layers to it. When you say go out for bids, specifically, what kind of bids are you looking to do? Like,
We're going to have this on agenda item 3 tonight, so.
Oh, is it on the agenda?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we already have the numbers on the bond, we're going to start that whole process.
That's
Yeah,
for the
we have the
bond,
bo-
it's
we
not
have
for
the
the,
bond
it's
numbers.
not for
Right,
the
but
bids,
Dave will be,
but
that's what Dave
yes,
came in with
yes.
for presenting. So we're going to get all that information out there, hopefully televised live.
Yeah. So it's nice that,
Well, any good news story has that, right?
it's nice that finally, like, all of our years of hard work is finally coming to, that, you know, you can see the light at the end, and we're gonna have beautiful parks for the kids and the adults to go into. I mean, it's gonna be really wonderful, even with the chamber down there, adding the all-inclusive, you know, wheelchair.
We actually, we met with the playground guy last week sometime, so he'll come in front of the rec committee in our June meeting, and we'll talk about some options for that
That-
all-inclusive. I think that handicapped kids can get out in a wheelchair, or anybody actually, and
Right.
kids can play with them right at the same
Yes.
time, instead of, you know, something that's kind of fenced in and excludes them.
Yep.
So it's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, it was
So we'll have
very
some ideas we will bring back to that.
perfect.
Hopefully sometime in June.
All right, good. Yeah, it's all good things.
And one other park-related announcement I'd like to make, Camarda Park is being paved tomorrow. So the Carmel Highway Department, I want to thank Mike Simone and his staff, his highway workers, they prepped the pad, the parking lot, for the blacktop. So they smoothed it out, they graded it, smoothed it out, squared it off, so it's ready to go for the paving contract, which Dave, I believe he'll be up there tomorrow, starting to pave.
They're gonna pave tomorrow.
Okay.
This is the parking lot adjacent to the basketball courts, between the basketball courts and the pavilion and the playground, right, that area that we'll
Yep. The main parking lot. Yeah.
Most of the money for that came from a grant from the senator, and Bob Buckley is instrumental in securing that money as well.
For the people that didn't hear that, a lot of this park money is coming through grants.
Kenny, one other thing I just want to bring up, and I want to give kudos to the one and only Annie Pascarella and Jonathan for doing the Facebook. The town now has a Facebook.
You stole that
The town
thunder
of
from me,
Carmel,
but that's
sorry.
okay.
Boom.
You know?
Has a town, yeah. So publicly, thank you too
That's
for
Annie.
starting, oh, Annie.
Absolutely.
For getting this, again, we're moving forward with things, and it's exciting.
Yeah, there've already been a lot of
Kenny,
updates that
Friday
were
we
put
have
out
a
in the
meeting.
past week with it.
Yes, you want to mention that, Mike?
Friday, we have a meeting with Mayapack National Bank. They apologize for getting back to us. We thought this would have happened a couple of weeks ago, but to get the people together was difficult. But Friday, we have a site visit with Mayapack National Bank to discuss their designs for their drive-through and their parking requirements versus our accessibility and parking requirements. We think we're on the same page. We hopefully feel that after Friday, we can go to a professional design, have one within 30 days, or hopefully sooner, and bring it out to the public and start work over there too, based on DOT. But Mayapack National and the board is meeting Friday. Next step, after that, design, subject to DOT, then construction. So everything is moving forward.
2018 and 19 is the year of the park in the town of Carmel. Camarada, Swan Cove, McDonough,
Airport.
and the airport.
Yeah.
So it's for the
Yeah.
kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kids and property value. I mean, you know, you go to sell your house, you know, having these sophisticated parks, you know, adds a lot of appeal, I will say.
I think it's gonna be great, like, I
Yeah.
can't wait. I think once it's done, it's going to be, people are gonna be amazed at it.
Yeah.
I can remember when I was
Yeah.
growing up, it was Crane Road Field, McDonough Park was just built, and that was the epitome of what the fields were, and it was all the talk. And now we had, when I came back from college and I came back from the military, it was Baldwin Meadows.
Yep.
Now we have Carmada that we added to it, and now to really go through with the final plans on the airport is gonna be spectacular, to see the master plan on the rec come together with McDonough as well. 20 years down the road, I think it's gonna be looked back as one of the best times that the town had gone through experiencing, including the purchase of Swan Cove, the extension of the Chamber Park. It's just everything that we could do to enhance all of our green area and our parks for all ages, all different backgrounds, and everybody, whatever activity they want to participate in. We're really concentrating on making sure that everything is becoming more accessible, and we're trying to make sure that all facilities there. And next, I'm sure we're going to be talking about community center, and probably talking about a community pool at the same time. So I truly believe that we're heading down the right path. We're doing all the things that we're supposed to do to make sure that not only does it stay a good place for families to be raised, but for people to have generational families throughout the town. And I think that that's something that we're all really looking forward to and working hard towards. And thank you to Parks and Rec and every member of that, especially Bob Buckley, who's no longer on there, but he was instrumental in gathering so many different grants on so many of these projects, and I'm sure that he's going to be instrumental for helping the town go towards the future too. So it's all good stuff, and we just keep working together for the right reasons. It's going to be a beautiful future that our town has.
Yep.
Exactly. Mike?
For the handful of naysayers out there that believe we don't need more parks, I went to my my 8-year-old grandson's baseball game the other night, which started at 8:15 at night. And it wasn't even televised on ESPN, where I would have watched it from my bed at home. So for the people that don't think we need it, go look at these parks at night. And there were 3 fields being used, and this was a school night. This was a Thursday night school night. And it backed up to a Friday night game. I went for a 6-year-old at 7:15. So they are needed.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Do you have anything else recreation related?
Yeah, for next week.
Not regarding recreation, but I wanted briefly, if we can just talk about next week's May 30th meeting. As everyone should know, and thank you for putting it in the paper, Bob, next Wednesday, starting at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 9, we're having a informational meeting. And the 3 topics that we're going to touch on is the infrastructure within the town of Carmel, the code within the town of Carmel, and the master plan for the town of Carmel. All of the boards have been invited, the town boards, the chamber, I know, just put out a notice to have people come. It's going to be very informal. What I'm hoping is that we're all going to just sit around in a big circle or whatever and really discuss. It's going to be very positive. I believe John put an agenda together with the help of everybody, of kind of what we wanted to go over. Because you do have to have some type of rules, because this can get
That's-
very emotional.
We did one about
And-
15, 20 years ago, and it was a
Yes,
zoo.
and we did. So I'm
Yeah.
letting everybody know a week before that this informational meeting is meant to be extremely positive. We're not going to allow any name bashing. We're not going to allow, finger pointing. It is positive, good community awareness that we all want to come together as a whole, and let's see what we can do as a community.
And
You
listen
know,
to comments
and,
from the
yeah.
community, because
We-
we sit up here and we talk about codes and we talk about infrastructure, and we have a lot of different background on that, but I think a lot of times we sometimes don't get all the information from all different parts of the public, and I think that that's why it's really going to be beneficial. The more people of the general public that we have here, the more civic organizations, the more sports organizations, the more educational groups. I feel that when we get everybody talking together about what we see for the future of the town, that's really what we'll be talking about. Where are we going to go with our codes? How are our codes going to lie in line with our infrastructure, and how does all that tie together to the new master plan? Because we've accomplished most of the master plan, and we still need to look at a few things that we didn't accomplish on that master plan and see if it's really going to be what we gear ourselves towards as a town for the future decades to come. Because unfortunately, it's been over 15 years since that master plan. We did a lot with the Parks and Rec side, but I know one of the biggest issues was sewer going around the lake. And that is not even something that's been remotely discussed in the 15 years. So there's a lot of things I think that we need to revamp, and I believe a master plan should be a living organism that continues to evolve as the town evolves and as our demographic evolves. I think it's something that we need to look at changing, and this is just going to be the first of probably many meetings that'll be discussing it. But the public's feedback and the public's comments and concerns, I think, are instrumental to making sure that we have the best project that we possibly can.
Yes.
On that note, and not to get too far ahead, I mentioned it to the board or a couple members last week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Jonathan and I will be going and interviewing an attorney, a law firm that we would like to, again, come in, present to the board, then the board can make a decision on possibly handling code or master plan. Not set in stone, but this is one firm that we would like to bring forth in front of the board. Hopefully, we go meet the firm next week. With the holiday, we don't know, but fingers crossed again, just so you're not surprised, and getting on everyone's calendar to bring in the attorney. Be aware, and within a week or less than 2 weeks, we will have someone to at least present, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, then we have to go find another firm that could handle it. So, but we have to get the ball rolling and going forth. I'm sorry, I keep looking this way. I should.
We need these little chairs.
It's important to note too, John, that we budgeted in the 2018 budget. We budgeted, I believe it was $50,000.
I thought it was higher.
It was 50 for the code and 50 for the master plan, so it's $100,000 that we budgeted. I hope my figures are correct. I think they are, right?
It could be, and that was only the budget for 2018.
Yeah.
If there's more money to be spent in 2019, obviously, but for the 2018 budget, I believe your numbers are 100,000 correct.
Okay.
So.
Because we can't do this alone. As John said, we have to bring a firm in that specializes in master plans, comprehensive plans, code revisions, things like that, because it's really too big.
Make sure we do it right.
Yeah, we want to get it done right. So we need those professionals that are familiar with handling these type of things to get involved in it and participate as well. So, and Jonathan mentioned the public is going to be very involved in this because we really need good dialogue and feedback from them. What is their vision for the community?
Right.
what is the future of the town of Carmel? What do you envision the future of the town of Carmel to look like? You know, how do you want it, 10, 15, 20 years from now?
I know I was fortunate enough, it's my first time in 6 years getting back today to a Rotary luncheon. And they had mentioned that you'll be there. They said that they had to reschedule it a few times, and they apologized greatly. But maybe this is a good thing to start going around to the Lions Club or to other chambers and start talking
Lions
about.
Club just walked in.
There you go. So not just one meeting at the town and not just on, the town's agenda, but I think getting out to the civic organizations, the
great idea.
not-for-profits, I think that it's really going to
Go to
be
the seniors.
something that evolves. Like I had said previously, it's about getting everyone's input and not just 5 members of the board up here with, the heads of a couple different departments and heads of other boards. I think it's imperative that we get as large a picture as we can for as large a scope as we can, because that's going to give us the best end product in this master plan, which again, it all is intertwined. Code, infrastructure, master plan, zoning, everything is going to be looked at. I don't think there's going to be one stone that we leave unturned on this. So I'm sure we'll forget a bunch of stones. That's why we really look forward to public input on it and public comment on it, because I think that's where we're going to get the most benefit.
All the stakeholders.
Everybody.
All the customers, everybody, all the residents, business owners, so it's really critical that we get that feedback. That really aids us in.
Yeah, because it's everybody's town, it's not just ours, it's everybody's.
Yep.
And, yeah,
Ken, on an email that came out on a tabled resolution from 2014 with the traffic, are we bringing that discussion back up?
I don't think so.
Is it a dead issue?
We were contacted by the Office of the State Controller, because they audit these every now and then. The DOT grants that have been awarded, what they'll do is they'll look at them to see whose are still open, whichever.
No, I
grants
know
are
that,
still
but I'm saying the discussion about it.
We do have
Was
to,
it-
we
was
we
it
have
ever
to take it
finalized?
off the table. It has to be untabled. I think Councilman Schneider tabled it. In 2014, the study.
No, that's why I mentioned
This is the one with
Crest
the,
Gardens,
right.
Where they were gonna relocate.
Because if you're
the
gonna talk
entrance
about
to
the
the
traffic in
road.
downtown,
Remember, we had tabled it, because we wanted to discuss it further. We didn't want, I believe, $190,000 left in the grant funding.
Read it
We
today.
didn't just wanna,
Absolutely.
give it back without, looking at it a little bit closer to find out if there's anything else that could be done. But one of the things that we did in conjunction with the study was, we did a traffic study as well, when the county constructed the new park and ride.
Right.
At the bottom of Mount Hope Road. So the traffic engineers that did the study for the town, they considered that, what the impact would be as far as traffic is on Mount Hope Road because of the added cars. I think it was a 60-space commuter parking lot that was proposed at the time. I don't think it's ever been used. I don't think there's ever been 60 cars in there.
On parades.
What's
Parade.
On parades in the fair, it is used.
Yeah, it is used. All right.
I can't think of any other time of the year.
Aside from that, it is
Yeah.
not used. There's 3 or 4 cars parked in there.
Right.
What we're talking about is a traffic study between Mount Hope Road and Mayapack National Bank.
Right.
And
yeah.
the
Exactly.
driveways that come out between
the-
that area.
So the plan back years ago, when this was first brought up, was to relocate the entrance to Woodcrest Garden Apartments onto Mount Hope Road. I believe
Do they have-
Woodcrest has property. They own some property that,
it's up to the
it's
right.
like 3/4 of the way up on the right.
Yeah,
You would think they'd want that.
That does, yeah.
I'll tell you, I think it would be great, because I
You would
try
think
to come
Woodcrest
out
would
of
want
there
that.
to make a left, and it's horrendous.
DOT does it?
Well, no, the traffic study that was done indicated that it would create more of a traffic backup on Mount Hope Road than currently exists now.
I think it's a matter of getting a real-time study that has traffic data, because everything was hypothetical based off of full capacity on that lot. So I think having it tabled, and it should be brought back, because now I think that we'd be able to get a very good traffic study that would find it beneficial, because I don't think any one of us would disagree that having another means of ingress and egress up at that location would be great, because I don't know how many times I'm coming down 6 from the split of 6N over towards the firehouse, and people are making left turns out of there. It's very difficult. People making
Yeah.
left turns into there, it's difficult. So at least having the light to control things down there, and I think it, now, with it being open enough years, getting a real-time traffic study, I think we'll see the results that we would expect.
Well,
So we'll do another traffic study?
well,
We still
do
have
you-
190 left on that coffer, right?
Right, but do you think we should contact the Woodcrest Gardens Board first?
Absolutely.
So I'm saying that's coming back on My question basically is, it's still open for discussion, and it's
still
coming
open.
back on.
Yeah.
It is open for discussion, yes.
That was
Well, twofold, the grant, but we should, even if the grant is expired or we don't have it, something like that, we should be proactively looking at, even if it costs us money to do a more in-depth, more comprehensive study. Because again, that is the major corridor, you know, within that strip, especially, you know, with the parking and the park going to be there, so.
So do you want to contact the Woodcrest Gardens people,
Also, the other,
see if they're interested in it?
Yeah, I can contact them. I just need contact information,
Okay.
who to reach out to.
Okay.
Bert Pirelli? Yeah. Okay. Is he the manager? Okay. Do you have his contact information, Chris? Okay.
did everybody get the information that Greg Elner sent regarding WIFIA, water infrastructure loans available from the government? EPA extends deadline?
I don't remember seeing any. I talked to Greg for a good hour last week, but I didn't get any information
All
like
right,
that.
I'll make copies. He sent it. I just don't know who we would find out if we're if we're capable or eligible for it.
Eligible for that?
Deadline to apply for a WIFIA water infrastructure loan.
We would have to
It's
see
a loan,
if,
not a grant.
the rate of that loan versus.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Supposedly this is
I think we'd
That might
probably
be
have to
better than
get
our bond rate,
information on what we're
they-
gonna do
that's what he
first and
said.
no numbers, right?
which
Yeah,
shocked me.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
But we're working on that as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we had the meeting, I think that ended this week is when the bids are supposed to come back in regards to Carmel Water District 2. And I think that there were 5 different engineering firms that were there and did the walkthrough. I'm not sure when we're receiving the bids, but I believe that those are coming back shortly. So we should have the coupons from the pipe work on Water District 2 shortly to discuss that, so we could talk about what we're gonna do for the either replacement, relining. And then we'll also be able to, on another path for Water District 2 in particular, is start discussing what we see from the water study, at least what we're looking at when the numbers come back in. And that should be in the next few weeks as well. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, but I also have some more information on Water District 9, since that's come up a few times. I had come in and talked with Rich in regards to something from NICEAG that I'll be bringing up later down the road. But at the same time, we had a talk with a representative from Water District 9 in regards to the surveys that had been done, the engineering that had been done, the 20-plus years that this project has been going on without being completed. And if I could recall correctly, and this is off the top of my head, it's going to be in the next couple of months that we're going to have everything together, and the project should be starting by year end. So that'll be coming to fruition as well. He was happy to hear it. He was happy to have the discussion with Rich on the phone. Just trying to make sure that we stay on top of everything there. And while I'm talking about Rich and NICEAG, you guys may have remembered we had done a study with New York Power Authority in regards to the building, looking at window replacement, LED lights, looking at the HVAC system, the boiler. Right now, the numbers, we're getting them all together. We're going to be sitting down and discussing them a little bit more. But one thing that's really come to light is the LED replacement of our bulbs in our lighting districts. The return on the investment, and the investment would be, rough numbers, just under $45,000. Return on the investment looks like it would be in less than 2 years on energy savings, which is, to me, that was a no-brainer when I was looking at those numbers, thinking if we're going to have an estimated 30 to 50-year lifespan, to get a
And you
return
get
on
that in 2
investment in
years.
2 years, it would be a drop in the bucket for the
You're talking about
outlay.
replacing all the incandescent bulbs that are out there now?
Yeah.
With LED lights?
Yeah, 2 years ago, we said absolutely not where the numbers were, but with just how things have changed in technology, it's amazing to see the difference on what we've come to. And Rich and I will be meeting in the next week or two on that. We'll bring it up to the board. He just sent out an email today asking what the next step is in order to get the approvals from NICEAG to utilize the poles to start replacing it. So we're working on that as well. I would love to see us replace all the lights in here.
I hope we're both not dual tracking this and working on it, because I've been meeting with NYSEG over the same thing.
Well, you need to talk to Rich then. You got to talk to our engineer.
I did talk to Rich, and he said he was waiting for information from Kathleen Abel from NYSEG.
Yep, he got it.
He got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
And now he reached out for what the next step is, yes.
all right, good. Well, listen, if we're dual tracking it, we're both working on it.
As long as Rich is coordinating it for us, we're good.
Yeah, yeah, and would that be covered under the lighting tariff, do you know? The cost of that, is it covered under the district? Does each district pay for the cost of the upgrades to their,
I'm not going to say definitively, but
the lights?
it should be. Every lighting district is individually taxed as a
Yeah,
district. It
correct,
should
yeah.
be, and they should see the return on the investment through their energy usage on that district as well in the
Yeah,
future.
I'd love to see that happen. You
But
know,
Jonathan, nothing with this building, right?
We're still waiting on doing the final revisions of everything from that study to see what the more accurate numbers are, but we believe that unfortunately, the windows which probably need the most need,
yeah.
those are gonna show us the smallest return on the investment. The HVAC system between the boiler and the AC, that one, we had been discussing different options because we're starting to think that maybe going with the slimline ductless units and just having different compressors outside, having them go into each individual unit to be controlled by themselves. We're starting to look at that. Greatest return on the investment would come from LED lights as well. So we're trying to find out if we can get some grants from the state in order to just go through town hall and then maybe work on highway, maybe work over at Parks and Rec as well. But we're trying to find better ways to be more cognizant of our carbon footprint as well as saving the taxpayers' dollars in the long run for energy usage.
Yeah.
No question,
Okay.
that's the way to go with the lights. No question about it.
Have you considered changing just the bulbs to LEDs, is that what you're saying?
No, it would be the entire ballast, everything being fully replaced. I talked to a few different electricians who have been doing just LED replacements, and they said when you're doing it, it's just quicker, replace the whole thing. The bulbs, unfortunately, if you put them in there without the right type of balance and ballasts, they started using really technical electrician terms, and I just said, so you're telling me full replacement is the best way to go? And that's pretty much what they say.
I would definitely do a little research on that, because in my house, I have a bunch of these kind of bulbs in the basement, and I replace them with LEDs, and they're less than,
Thought we were
like,
gonna
just
discuss
great.
the-
There are LED
Not next
replacement bulbs that you don't need to get a separate ballast for. They have a built-in microprocessor on there to regulate it.
We'll definitely look into it then, yeah, if it's something that's feasible. Just from the professionals that I had spoken to, they said as far as the efficiency goes, it's not even
Yeah,
comparable.
yeah. Okay.
It might also be because they want to
Yeah,
just
I
get
will.
more time up there replacing a ballast, you know? Absolutely. I'm not going to say one way or the other, but yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
Good, thanks, Nick.
So all the old Cobra head light heads, the old ones that you see on the poles that extend over Route 6 or whatever, they were, those big heads, they would be gone.
That's the
And
idea.
The new LED fixtures are much, they're flatter, they look a lot better.
Yeah, and they can also have shades on them. One thing when LEDs were first coming out, you know, well, I'll say 10 years ago, when cities started to turn over, they started to get a lot of issues with light pollution, where there was no shades and people would have blaring lights in their bedroom windows, midnight, 1 in the morning. So the newer technology allows you to adjust what the entire area of coverage is. It allows you to adjust it. It's amazing what technology can do these days.
You know, I was going out to Montauk this past weekend, and I noticed some of their lights have like a little solar panel on it, and that's what lights the light at night. So maybe we can look into that too. You know, even if you can blend it in, I don't know,
Yeah.
but that may be kind of neat. Even for like Swan Cove, you know, because we're going to need lighting down there, maybe we can do little,
I just heard you talk, I just walked in, we talked about lighting. We did write a grant to I forget,
NYSERDA.
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 Yep.
We did that probably about 5 years ago for the Geary Rink and the 2 baseball fields up in McDonald Park. It was a conversion from our existing lights over, and we came up with a cost savings. We worked with Moscow Lighting to figure out what we're spending now and how much we would save going to LED. And we were not selected for that grant, but it's already written. So that's something that we might want to
Absolutely.
yeah.
Rob Barber should have that up in the engineering department.
Perfect. We'll make sure that Rich and Rob,
We did that with Kenny probably, Ken, that was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Rob was involved in that too, right?
Yeah, they went around to the different towns, saying if you have any projects, that would be good for that.
That was Jimmy Gilchrist
it's great.
talking from the audience too, for the people that don't know where that voice came from.
That,
I didn't realize.
You.
Can I ask a quick question? You mentioned that next week, or the 30th, I'm sorry, you have an agenda going. Is that going to be published before the meeting? Is that
Yes, Annie has that agenda, and we're going to get that out to, yes.
That's on the webpage, it's already on the calendar, and it's on Facebook.
And on Facebook. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And what's
Says the guy who doesn't use
the
Facebook.
format, what's the format?
Kenny, we only have 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
what's the format for next week? John wanted to ask, and I concur. What's the format?
I know
So
Susie
format
mentioned
is gonna
ground rule,
be-
but what's the format? Round table and audience?
Yes, roundtable audience, it's going to be, just very quickly, it'll be an overview of the history of our code and our infrastructure and the master plan. Then it's going to go into discussion about what our immediate thoughts are for what's right on the table right now in regards to that. And then we're going to do introductions for each one of our department heads, for each one of our representatives from the boards. We're going to get their feedback in regards to that, and then we're going to open up to the public for comments and questions.
So all boards means planning, zoning, ourselves, ECB,
We've invited the cable board.
okay, and the cable
And-
board, and then also
All boards.
department heads are gonna be there.
Yes, so we'll have-
So you're really gonna have an eclectic group, so if the
Yes,
public can
the
come and
chamber.
participate,
Yep.
and the chamber, I mean, now is the time, and as you were saying before, you know, we need involvement, you know, and this is your moment, this is, you know, please.
But it was important too, because 20 years ago when we did it, chairman of the zoning board, chairman of the planning board, they gave their opinion on things too.
And that's how it should be.
Yes. Very
Absolutely.
important.
Mhm. I remember, the last one that we were at was when I was liaison for the chamber, the political liaison for the chamber. So that must have been
was
less than 10 years ago.
That was 8 years ago.
Right, and it was very constructive at that time, and I think that's what we're really going for, is just, we don't want to have finger pointing, we don't want to hear about why we're such a bad group of people that govern this town. What we want to hear is what we could do to make the town better. We want to hear everybody's recommendations. I know that there are a lot of concerns in regards to a lot of different things. This is the opportunity where you're going to have the people who know the subject matter better than anyone else in the town ready to answer the questions. So it's a really great opportunity to get information, to get involved, and to work together towards a great future.
And everybody is working together because it's the 5th Wednesday. And
Yes.
we're utilizing the time. We're
Yep.
not sitting back. We're utilizing every moment that we have to move forward with the projects that are on our desks, on the parks desk, on the planning board's desks, on everybody's desks, pushing them forward.
Okay?
So the last thing I just wanted, again, so the board is not surprised, again, because of the holiday, because the 5th Wednesday, we're not going to have a formal meeting. I will be presenting a letter of retainer that, as a council person, I am retaining an attorney to handle my affairs with the letter to the AG and the letter to the New York State Comptroller. Under public law, I'm entitled to representation, so I will be submitting to the board a letter asking for special counsel to handle any of that matter. Not that I did anything wrong, but when there's an allegation or, you know, accusing, I'm going to protect my interests, and I'm not going to handle the matter because I'm a layperson. I know numbers. I do not know law. So I'm going to utilize, you know, my right as a public official to retain an attorney. So, and I will be submitting it's for special counsel to Councilman Lupinacci, special counsel being an attorney. And it really is just to authorize Mary Ann to remit payment to the special counsel. Again, under state law, and my letter will have the state law quoted on what is, you know, allowed and so forth. So,
And if you don't mind, I'm actually going to piggyback it. I have not chosen a lawyer yet. I have interviewed one. I have 2 more to interview. So as soon as I do choose a lawyer, I will also be coming to the town board with the same request. Just FYI.
yeah, I just don't want surprises when I submit
Yeah.
the
My
letter.
feeling is that I 100% understand why both of you are doing it, and I've contemplated doing the exact same thing. there's nothing that's come down that says there's any reason for me to even think that I need it, especially since I know the background, I know the history, I know what's on camera, I know what's written in minutes, I know what information has been sent back and forth. So I don't have a concern, but I definitely am of the complete support on anybody who would want to. And it may come a time where, you know, maybe a different side of my mind says, hey, you should really think about it, because it is a litigious society, and unfortunately, that's what litigation does. I know that we have to discuss getting special counsel anyway for the FOIL request alone. So we do need a lot of different special counsel in regards to this matter. So I may be submitting it as well. Maybe we should just do a blanket resolution saying everybody's going to be entitled to it.
I think the resolution, going from associations to town and talking to a couple of municipality attorneys, it's hiring of special counsel. Like when we hire Joe Charbonneau of special counsel, it's specific, and it's specific to either to the board or for this topic or for the specific person. It's not just so open. But I'm not I'm not a lawyer, but I'm working under advisement, so.
Okay, great. We have 5 minutes. I'm going to talk about the paving project really quick, because Bob mentioned it.
Why don't you do it on the regular meeting so we know
Actually, you know what? I'll do it at the regular meeting, Bob. Yeah, the one up in the farm. Yeah, the Route 6 to 312.
Yeah,
project.
and you know what, that may be live, this might not be
Yeah,
live.
that's
might be
true.
taped,
All right,
so-
so let's do that. Good idea.
At the end of the
I'll
meeting,
mention it at the
we'll
end of the
be
meeting.
better.
All right.
So do we want to see if there's anything on the open side? Any members of the public want to ask? We still have 5, right?
Yeah,
Anybody? Nick? Okay, all right, okay. All right,
Well, if there's a
All right.
thought that you have, even something to use as a topic for future roundtables, I think it's a great idea. Absolutely. Yeah, most definitely.
yeah, good.
all right. Dominic, we're gonna close this meeting, and we're gonna just take the next few minutes to get ready for the town board work session. So you can